Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to UX, and this is the shocking truth behind Iran's underground missile launcher capabilities. Oh, I thought America destroyed all those launchers. Smug face emoji. I guess America was lying. Even I got those comments. I guess Max got fed up with that and let's talk about this. People talk like this is like a video game. You just destroy and it says 100% in an objective. Yeah, done. Of course, you can't really destroy all of them. There's going to be some that's hiding underground. But implication here is that most of them are destroyed. Now, obviously, you can't really find everything, even with the best of the tech. You can't just find things slowly. There was literally news of Iran shooting down drones, and then USA destroyed certain radar systems. People told me this could have been a bait, and maybe. I don't know if you would use bait with a RQ drone. That's costly. Why would that be a bait? Something like Locust would make more sense. But yeah, they found out, oh, there's radars there, I'm going to destroy it. Even in that video, I question, why didn't you do that before you have the technology? But it's one thing to just say things, so you have the technology, but what does that mean? This is like saying, oh, I have the technology, this has more power than the Apollo mission, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to render 4K videos on a smartphone. What does that mean you have the technology? There are certain criteria that needs to be met in order to detect something. Maybe it's not so easy. Maybe certain things can hide and you need to slowly find things and whittle it down, I guess. So yeah, obviously there's going to be a lot of left behind launchers that are still hiding underground in mountains and things. It's going to be interesting. What is the number behind it? I guess CENTCOM or something gave numbers about it. This is my channel, Max Afterburner. Let's go this one.
Hey, welcome to the video. It's June 2nd, 2026, and Iran has hit Ali Al Salam Air Base in Kuwait 3 times in 5 days. Yeah, during an active ceasefire. May 28th, they fired a Fatah 110 short-range ballistic missile at the base. Kuwaiti air defenses intercepted it. The debris still landed.
Wait a minute, I could be wrong, but didn't Iran say ceasefire's over? Or was that a fake news? Is ceasefire technically still there? I don't know.
Inside the wire. 5 Americans wounded, 1 MQ-9 Reaper totally destroyed, and a second one heavily damaged. $30 million each from those drones gone, and those were actually intercepted partially. And then Sunday night, June 1st, 11 p.m. Eastern time, 2 more ballistic missiles inbound to the same base. Both of those intercepted cleanly, no debris falling on the base this time, and no casualties. Same day as that second missile launch, Iran fired a cruise missile into the container ship MSC Sariska V or Skariska 5, tomato, near Qasar, Iraq. 2 hits, hull breach, fire on board. Crew somehow walked away unscathed, and Iran called it retaliation for the U.S. disabling an Iranian tanker the previous Friday by putting a Hellfire missile through its engine room, which was a direct sniper hit that kept that vessel floating adrift. But here we go. 3 strikes on U.S. bases, a cruise missile into a container ship, all of it while under an active ceasefire, while
Dude, again, I don't think Iran has ever officially said that we accept the ceasefire, especially with the blockade. So I don't really have this oh, I can't believe they're doing this. I don't have that feeling. Yeah, you're blockading their ships and destroying their engines. If they can hit your ship, they're doing it. But the surprising thing is they can still do that. They can still project some kind of a power instead of Hormuz. I mean, it's easy in a way because they're just there. How are you going to defend against that? So any ship passes through there is going to be a problem. They can hit it, right? And Qatar is something it also is just there. They can see it. So hitting that is also not that hard. So it makes sense.
Peace talks are simultaneously running. Well, kind of. We're going to get to that here in a second. But this morning, Iran suspended those talks entirely. Some reports I'm seeing are saying that Trump used language on a call with Netanyahu that would get most people kicked out of church, but it was regarding holding back Israeli strikes in Beirut. And here is the question that nobody in the corporate media is answering, but I want to tell you from the operator perspective.
Wait a minute. Trump screamed at Netanyahu, calm the f down, I'm talking here, don't attack. Is that what happened?
The country like Iran that's absorbed this level of punishment still have the capability to keep launching ballistic missiles at US bases? Because the answer is going to completely change how we think about this conflict moving forward. And then stay about 3/4 of the way through the video for a massive global roundup section. We're going to cover Russia flying one of their advanced stealth fighter jets and controlling drones from that cockpit, what that means. And then China's getting a little spicy in the Taiwan.
Yeah, I mean, what they use Su-57? Wait a minute. Okay, I'm gonna watch a Russia video around this today, I guess, is what I'm saying. I don't know the timeline. Because it's surprising me what level of effed up things are happening there and what kind of a whoop ass Ukraine is giving, or at least that's the news I'm getting. I don't know if that news is biased or not, but I've seen that popped up in multiple places, like losing Crimea and things. I'm gonna watch that video because that's insane. The blows are increasing, right? Ukraine is keep increasing the strikes right now. I guess winter is few months from now on. That's where everything slows down. So for them, it's now or never. I don't know.
Straight as they do. So Iran's firing missiles during an active ceasefire, and they're like, oh no, we just actually bumped the console. We didn't mean to do that. We actually want to negotiate. Yeah, we spilled our coffee on the console like Homer Simpson sitting in the nuclear plant, and we just accidentally bumped the big red button. Now let's build the operational picture, because this is more complex and it's more of a chess game than anybody really wants to publicly admit. So here's the confirmed operational sequences from the last 5 days, and I want you to understand the pattern because there absolutely is a pattern here. On May 27th, US forces strike Iranian drone ground control facilities near Bandar Abbas, following the downing of a US MQ-9 Reaper over the Strait of Hormuz. Standard rule of engagement response, Iran does not absorb that one quietly either. So on May 28th, Iran fires a Fatah 110 at Ali al-Salim in Kuwait. Kuwaiti Patriot batteries intercept. Debris unfortunately wounds 5 Americans, 4 service members, and a contractor. CENTCOM confirmed this publicly, that $60 million in drone losses from a single missile intercept was from the debris that was falling from a partially successful intercept. But that's a big hit, 60.
See, again, I've said this in the past. US is one of those countries who'd openly just say, like, oh, shit happened, right? If anything, this will basically rile up their own people. Like, yeah, we're getting damaged. Come on, Americans. So if anything, this would work as a propaganda. Now again, propaganda is just a word for like trying to amp up your own crowd. Negative, positive, whatever you want to think of, right? But USA would do that. So all the people are saying like, oh, America's lying, America's hiding. That's not what America does. That's not the history of them doing it. And look at this. They're like, yeah, damage happened. It was a partial intercept. They didn't have to say that. They could have said, oh, we intercepted. Nothing happened here. Nothing to see here. But no, of course they're going to say it.
$1 million. 2 drones that could have been used in combat went away. And then on June 1st, US forces strike additional Iranian military targets in response, absolutely decimating some of the islands and some of the areas around Bandar Abbas. Iran downed a US MQ-1 Predator drone that same weekend, and then on that night, June 1st, 11 p.m. Eastern time, 2 more ballistic missiles inbound to Ali al-Salam. That's Iran's new favorite target. CENTCOM posted this to X, both intercepted, no personnel harm. And their quote was, US Central Command remains vigilant and will continue to protect our forces from Iranian aggression while supporting the ongoing ceasefire. The same day, IRGC Navy fires that cruise missile and hits that Panama flag container ship near Iraq, operated by Mediterranean.
I don't understand what is your definition of ceasefire, man. I understood if they attack something else, but if they attack US bases, if they have ceasefire against US, doesn't that automatically breaks the ceasefire? What does ceasefire mean? They are not ceasing anything. They are still firing. I understood before, like, okay, Israel thing, allied country thing, that doesn't fall into ceasefire category, great. But now they're literally attacking American troops and American bases. Even tried to attack American ships a week or so ago. How is that still a ceasefire? Is this just a thing we say now, ceasefire, that's it? Like to mark on a calendar like this is the time period.
shipping company. That does sound like a nice shipping company. Makes me a little hungry as well. Makes me think of delicious Mediterranean food. But in this case, instead of a kebab landing on their plate, it was a massive cruise missile from Iran. It was departing from Qasr, Iraq. 2 projectiles hit the ship, so 2 cruise missiles or a cruise missile and a drone. The first hit was while the harbor pilot was still aboard. Second hit the crew area, hull breach, and a massive fire. The MSC confirmed all crew were safe though, and this is a direct quote from their press release, that everyone on board acted with exceptional professionalism. I mean, you got to have a nervous system of steel to deal with those hits and get everybody out safe. And the IRGC statement was, in response to the aggressive attack by the terrorist and child-killing U.S. Army on the Iranian vessel Leon Star, the IRGC Navy conducted a reciprocal operation and struck the MSC Sariska. So again, they're going to try to paint the U.S. with as much propaganda as they possibly can, and their hope is that certain aspects of the corporate media in the US pick up on that.
So child killing is that missile that dropped on the school, right? That's what they're referring to. Trump said, like, we're going to investigate it. Did something came out of it? Was that, like a American missile that fell there, or was it Iranian intercept? What was that? Like did something came out of it? I don't know. Wait a minute, I need to check that. Oh, there you go. US probe into strike on Iran Gulf School near conclusion. This was 2 or so weeks ago. This is the only news that popped up, like one of the top ones. I mean, Reuters, I don't know how to say that. Is this like biased or what? I don't know, but this is like official statements. So I guess it's still under investigation. But they're saying it's complex because it was near Iranian base, Iranian cruise missile launching base. So it could have been American missile thing. I mean, even at the time, people kind of assumed like, yeah, it could have, what the hell's with the ad, man? Even at the time, they assumed it's going to be something like that. But yeah, maybe it could have been like intercept, like US launching a missile, they intercepted it and it fell on the school. That could have been something. Mastery. The AI ads are killing me, man. AI, it's everywhere. It's like all ads are littered with AI. Use AI to do this, all right?
And start kind of pumping that same information. It's just wild how much they're basically trying to grift and gaslight certain parts of the corporate media. We won't mention any names. And they're basically reposting a lot of these crazy propaganda statements that the IRGC regime is putting out, including General Salami, who basically gets a toothpick stuck through him every time he goes to a party, and people just use him as finger food. Of course, General Salami is going to chime in. This guy is the link between the Artesh and between the IRGC. He's the brother of the original Salami, the aged Salami that was aged for many years, that was basically decimated during a cocktail party, also known as the 12-Day War, where he was basically obliterated and put on a platter next to delicious finger foods. But this is the current.
So last year, his brother was killed last year, and now he's killed. Seriously, like top IRGC people, even which are left right now, they're like, yeah, their job is one of the most dangerous jobs there is, because even if this war stops, what if another one of them popped up 1 year after this or 2 years after this? Because 12-Day Wars was literally 1 year ago, Midnight Hammer, and now this is like a multiple, like 2 months of war. I don't know if it stops now. Then a 4-month war could pop up a year from now on, because usually in warfare, it's like a domino effect. Something falls down, it's very easy to repeat, right? Look at any warfare. Once it starts, it's very easy to stop. That was a big deal with the World War II. Like, we stopped, Europe stopped. Let's not attack. Oh, here's NATO, here's the European Union. Let's just stop attacking each other. Because that was the thing, like they couldn't stop attacking each other. It's just at the global stage with the militaries and geopolitics, somehow that happens. Every few years, conflict restarts.
Current Iranian playbook. They can't beat the U.S. carrier strike groups in open water, so instead they make the Gulf commercially unbearable, hitting vessels, charging millions of dollars in tolls to transit the Strait of Hormuz itself, forcing Lloyd's of London war risk premiums through the roof. So any insurance on any of these cargo ships is basically out of reach. And now, not only do they not want to go through the strait because of the threat from the proxy forces of Iran, but because they can't actually get insurance anymore as well. But now let's talk about the the adversary here because, like Sun Tzu says, know your enemy, know yourself. So this morning, Mohammad Jafar Asadi, deputy head of Iran's Central Military Command, Qatam al-Aniba, said publicly the United States demands our total surrender and the Iranian nation will never surrender. Well, he doesn't really mean the Iranian nation. He means the IRGC and the mullahs who are in their golden palaces sitting on their golden crappers while they basically extort money from the rest of the world, and especially from their own people. I mean, the money that's made by the different oil, by the different cargo going through the Strait of Hormuz that Iran's attached to, that money and that treasure belongs to the people of Iran. It doesn't belong to these mullahs who are sitting there with 20 wives just being like, yeah, we're great, we're really good guys, we take care of all of our wives. And then he went on to say the Iranian nation will never surrender. Without surrender, war is inevitable. Quick sidebar, you might be wondering about the previous IRGC Major General that we just brought up, Hussein Salami. Yes, General Salami was his name. He spent years on television promising to annihilate America and Israel. He was struck down, we know, the cocktail party of the 12-Day War, and then his replacement, General Pakpour, was...
Imagine him, we're gonna destroy America whole, and also Israel. And China's like, how? We try, what? How? Give me your paper. What you writing there? Or how you gonna do that? China's like, yeah, you rely on me and I can't do that. How you gonna do that? Nah, I was just saying that. Oh, all right.
Was also killed day one of this war, of Operation Epic Fury. So the IRGC has burned through 2 commanders in under a year, and they're still giving speeches like this. And at this point, they should probably see the writing on the wall that if they continue this rhetoric, they're basically going to be sliced very thin and put on a delicious platter of finger foods next to General Salami. 3 IRGC commanders in 9 months. At some point, this job listing should just say, comes with a very enhanced life insurance clause. But the question is, what happens when those remaining launchers fire, and what does the US do about it to try to take down these ballistic missiles, and how is Iran still doing it? So let's get into what the targeting chain would look like and where Iran's actually hiding these things. This is my honest take on what is likely going on with their ballistic missile program. So first of all, what's going to strike these things down? Well, the THAAD, that's a terminal high altitude area defense weapon. It engages ballistic missiles at high altitude, both inside and outside the atmosphere. Pretty epic missile here, but here's...
Yeah, I got those mixed up long ago. THAAD and Patriot are mixed up. I thought Patriot is high end, like THAAD is for more like low atmosphere. No, it's other way around. THAAD is a higher atmosphere, basically more advanced version. Patriot is very old, reliable, and more upgraded over time. But it's very old. THAAD is newish, but it's more for like a upper layer of things, even in space. Aegis is, I'm guessing, similar, but for like, like sea counterpart. But it also works with the system together. Right, so there's like Patriot, THAAD, Aegis. These are the system with layers that can protect things.
Here's the deal. No warhead on this thing. It's pure kinetic impact. A metal telephone pole at Mach 8 hits the incoming missile body, and the physics handle the rest. The U.S. redeployed THAAD batteries from Indo-PACOM.
How much do you supposed to flex that, oh, we don't use explosive because we know our missile will hit the other missile? Not in the proximity. No, our missile will hit the missile and stop it. You put explosive there because it's like you're in general area, explosion takes care of the missile's proximity thing. But no, THAAD's like, oh, we don't do that. Our missile will hit the missile. There you go. Our interceptor will hit the missile.
EUCOM, the Pacific, and Europe to Kuwait, Bahrain, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. We have a finite number of these globally, so we have to be very careful with how many of them are used because obviously China is going to be watching that number very closely. And then layer 2, Patriot PAC-3 missiles. That's kind of like the mid layer. Shorter range ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, maybe drones if they're larger, but you really don't want to waste a Patriot missile on a drone. The Patriot battery photographed at Ali al-Salim has been running continuously. Should they rename Ali al-Salim to Ali al-Salami? Just a little nod of the hat of, yeah, General Salami, we're going to keep putting you on sandwiches and maybe grilling you in a delicious panini press. Kuwait and U.S. Patriot batteries work in coordination. The May 28th intercept was Kuwaiti air defenses on the Fatah 110. The debris field is what wounded the Americans. That's not a system failure. This is just honest physics of fragmenting a very fast-moving missile that Iran has at low altitude over a base you're trying to protect. So ideally would be intercepting them further away from Kuwait. So will those tactics adjust? That remains to be seen. And then layer 3, Arleigh Burke destroyer sitting offshore firing SM-3 standard missiles at the ballistic missiles that are in the boost phase, so pretty early before terminal descent even begins. Longest range intercepts in this architecture can happen from those SM-3s. At least one confirmed SM-3 engagement against an Iranian ballistic missile over Turkey occurred earlier in the conflict. So combined, right now, all I can find and all the reports I'm seeing, experts are assessing a 90 to 92% interception rate across the entire.
Yeah, SM-3s are the best intercept missiles I'm guessing USA has, because those are the longest range Aegis system, and Aegis is the best system USA has. I'm pretty sure it is SM-3, right? Which can even intercept things from space, like shoot down satellites if need to, shoot down ballistic missiles from space. That is SM-3s.
System in the Middle East. I mean, that's genuinely extraordinary at this point to be intercepting 92% of their missiles. And the May 28th strike is exactly what the remaining 8% looked like in practice. The missile was still intercepted partially. Debris got in. It landed on the base. 2 Reapers gone, 5 Americans down. But Iran knows this math. They have started fielding maneuvering reentry vehicles on select missiles specifically designed to defeat predictable arc intercept geometry. This is a managed threat, so it's not a solvable.
Yeah, this is those hypersonic missiles that they were touting about. I don't know about hypersonic element of it. Is it really hypersonic or is it like 3-4 Mach? Who knows? But it is maneuverable, like they were saying. So it is harder to like intercept. I mean, you will be able to intercept, but not all of them. And even one is enough to do the damage. They've been using that on Israel recently a lot. People have been telling me in the comments, I've seen images of Israel burning. Yeah, because a lot of them are passing through. Even Israel's 3-layer system is not really working for this. So what surprises me is, like, why is Iran using this now and didn't use this like 2 months ago? Maybe like command structure issues, like nobody got the message. I don't know. Why are they using it now after all this time?
Because remember, the enemy always has a vote and they're going to adapt. That's their whole goal, is to adapt. Like Mike Tyson says, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. So if this ceasefire collapses and it goes back to full combat operations, the platforms that are probably going to go back to work at this point will be the B-2 bomber and the F-15E carrying bunker buster bombs. Now the B-2 may be hitting some of the larger facilities that are housing the ballistic missiles underground. We can see their bunkers. They've got massive bunkers throughout the country where they're keeping these missiles, and then they just roll them out, specifically in the Zagros Mountains, hidden tunnel entrances that we can see on this imagery right here. The Zagros Mountains are very rugged. They can pull these things out, launch their ballistic missiles, and then pull them back in. So the B-2 is going to have to roll in and do work alongside of the F-15E Strike Eagle because of its ability to carry bunker buster bombs. The F-15
Now I understand. I'm like, why are you not destroying certain things that you know they have, like radar dishes that we were talking about that they did 2 days ago, and now this, like, US knows where this mountain is. Space Force knows exactly what's happening in the entrance of it. It's very easy to just use B-2 bomber to like destroy the entrances and even the base if you wanted to. Even if you don't want to use the big bunker buster, you can still use munitions to like close off the tunnels. But you're not doing that because I think there's a political movement inside USA with Trump mostly. Like, let's not attack Iran right now, because if we destroy them too much, they might not have anything to lose. IRGC mostly, right? So if IRGC has literally nothing to lose, why would they make a deal? I think there is that hope there. Like, we haven't destroyed everything that we can, so maybe they'll make a deal. But if it sinks in, like, yeah, IRGC will never make a deal, then I guess we'll hear about like all of this getting completely decimated. Because at that point, the US might go with complete kill shot, like enough of this. It's happening now. Whatever happens, happens. That's what I think, because US knows where this is. US have munitions. All the news of US running out of munitions, that's for US. At the scale of US, like how much munitions they have, it's depleting. They have enough munitions to use on this. I think this is why they're not using it.
F-15E Strike Eagle can carry a 5,000-pound bunker buster bomb, GBU-72, on the center line, and this is a highly capable bomb. It was actually used in the conflict early on along the Strait of Hormuz. So I would say this thing is going to be churned back into the battlefield, getting more of these 5,000-pound bunker busters on areas where Iran's ballistic missile program is hiding. But here's the thing, you have to be very careful, and ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance is huge because Iran has actually created fake bunkers in certain mountain ranges to make the US waste munitions. They pull out things from those, they emit things, so they have radars, so it looks like it could be an actual ballistic.
Are you telling me it's cheaper to make fake structures like those and fake tunnels than to make American missiles? Math isn't mathing there, man. Okay, if USA is wasting money into few $1 million worth of missiles, like $2 million Tomahawk or something, if USA is wasting $2 million Tomahawks, aren't they wasting multi-million dollars just to build these structures? How does that work?
Ballistic missile, but it's actually nothing, and they're trying to distract and trying to get the US to waste munitions. So that's something that every planner at the Pentagon is counting on and looking into right now if I was a betting man. You made it to the Global Roundup, my friends. So for the first story, Russia flew a Su-57D, which is a two-seat aircraft, and here's why it's a two-seat aircraft. They have someone in the back now.
Is this real image? Oh, look at that. You finally found it. It's finally got captured in the wilds. Somebody took a photo of it. Look at that.
Who's controlling drones. So the whole point of having two people in there, in my opinion, it makes it way less stealthy than it already was. I mean, this thing's already like a 4+ gen stealth, but having someone in the back seat now allows them to actually control drones, and that's their whole goal. And to me, they needed that second person because their AI isn't exactly up to speed. Their coordination, their Link 16 that connects all the different jets isn't exactly great. So they had to have someone else.
Yeah, messed up thing about this is that because of all the sanctions on Russia, a lot of things can't be sold to Russia, like ASML systems. Most of the microchips that is getting built right now from TSMC, all the 3 nanometer, 2 nanometer you hear about is happening because of ultraviolet systems that are made by TSMC. Wait a minute. ASML. I'm getting confused. ASML. Right? So these are the people who made the system, but this system uses American parts. So America has a say in it, who can buy that or not. So at this point, India is buying this, like Tata companies, the same people who own Land Rovers and Jaguar, is buying this, creating a plant in my state, basically. I'll probably get a contract for it in order to build a factory. I don't know, we'll see. But they're building that, right? So India is going to slowly become better and better making microchips, but Russia will not, because Russia can't buy these systems. So Russia is not going to be good at AI, because in order to be good at AI, you need NVIDIA chips and other chips, and even like indigenous chips, which India can make now, but Russia can't. So Russia is going to find itself in a weird scenario where India was relying on Russia for decades. Now India is kind of ahead of the curve. China is already ahead of the curve. Now India is also going to be that. So how does Russia make something like 5th, 6th gen plane that can have AI-driven drones when they can't even do AI? There will be a scenario where India makes 5th, 6th gen plane with the drones, however good that is, but still going to be better than Russian one. That will be one of those slap in the face of Russia, because that is the point where Russia has to think like, oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? India, who relied on Russia for decades now, is getting ahead in the technology now. That would be insane.
Else up there to control those drones. So it is a win for Russia in a way, but I think it also shows some of their limitations when it comes to their fighter jets. Second story, China's Navy surrounds the Philippines during a US-Japan-Philippines exercise. They conducted 2 major deployments in the South China Sea and West Pacific, timed precisely to the ongoing Balakan 2026 exercises involving the US and the Philippines and Japan. Beijing is sending a deliberate message here. Defense cooperation invites PLA presence. That's their whole goal. They're trying to dissuade their neighbors from working together, and they're showing that as soon as they work together, Beijing's going to roll in with their carrier, which in their mind is their big swing and you know what. And that brings us to the 40 chest strategic analysis section. So let's talk about what Iran really wants out of all of this and what they're not saying out loud and how fragmented their leadership actually looks at this point. So they don't want a resumption to full hostilities. They don't want any more of their IRGC infrastructure hit. They know that at some point they won't be able to survive that. Their Air Force is gone. Their Blue Water Navy is gone. Missile production lines are extremely damaged and set back. Their launch rate has dropped from 100 ballistic missiles per day to what is likely assessed could be a dozen if the conflict kicks back off. What they want is a deal that doesn't look like surrender, because the regime that accepts unconditional American terms will probably not survive domestically, and they won't survive each other, because there's different factions across the table looking at each other, just ready for one of them to blink and so the other one can seize power. So they all want to look as strong as possible, and that's why you get both sides being talked about. Yeah, we'll make a deal. No, we won't make a deal. We're going to launch ballistic missiles. Wait, we want to make a deal. Because they know if they're the one that shows weakness, as soon as they leave the room, one of the other factions can just hit that red button, and then they're going to basically fall into a pit of sharks with freaking laser beams, or orcas with directed energy weapons, or dolphins with machine guns, or cocaine sharks.
I don't care about cocaine sharks. I don't care about I don't care about none of this. Do not give lasers to orcas. That's one thing I do care. Orca is one of the most smartest things there is, probably nearly human-like. And because of that, they're pretty effed up here. If you see how orcas work, they're pretty effed up here. You don't want to give them ideas and lasers. So if there is a news, like there's a lab and there are scientists who are doing something with orcas and giving them lasers, just stop it. Step in, tell your government to step in, just stop that thing right there, because we don't want to do that.
You guys let me know which one of those you think the stronger factions of the IRGC would use. So what do you guys think happens next? Let me know in the comments below. Would love to hear your thoughts.
There you go. So far, Iran, both sides are playing their hand. Iran's only hand is US economy and how it works, how Wall Street works, and their political system. They are hoping that they can wait America out enough that Americans can take it. They think America doesn't have resolve. So Americans like, oh, why is war not over yet? Gas prices are too high. Back out of it. That is what Iran is banking on. Because otherwise Iran has no weapon. What is Iran going to do to US? This is what they're banking on. Like USA will get tired out, right? They think USA is so like living in luxury, in leisure life, such a rich life that they can't handle hardship. That's what they're thinking. Now, is that true? Is the landscape going to change like that? In a month or two, is American people going to revolt? Like, okay, gas prices are too high, everything's too high, why are we still in Iran? Back out, and Trump does back out? If that's the case, then Iran was right. I guess even if you have the most powerful military in the world, if your own people cannot handle the warfare, that military is not going to matter. I don't think that's going to happen, because US has history of staying at places for a very long time. Afghanistan, decade plus, and many other places where they're just like, oh, I guess we're doing this now. Even when they changed between like Republicans and Democratic president, they were still there. So I don't know about that. If Pentagon says like, oh, we need to do this, no new president or the current president is going to say like, I'm not going to listen to Pentagon. That's how it works. But we'll see, I guess. Right, well, if you like my channel, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.